Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In our latest transfer video, we discuss the Swan's most recent differentials and get out Hippo's crystal balls to predict who will well and truly score this game week. Will anyone get a 5-star performance? We also share our thoughts about possible transfers in and out. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for any notifications each time we release new content. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Oh, Saka! That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings everybody to our game week 5 transfer suggestions and predictions with me, Matt, aka the FPL Affairs Magpie, and once again with me for this video is our FPL Affairs Weasel himself, Paul. How are you? How's your week been?
Yeah, I've had a good week. All my fantasy football teams have pulled this week, so I'm a happy guy. So I hope it's a turning point in the season.
Well, for one, yeah. For those of you that didn't watch, Paul wasn't able to join us for the review, Unwrapped and Talking Points, so we weren't able to have a look at his team because we were just too crowded, and unfortunately Mohammed wasn't able to come, but that's to say for another date. So we are going to very quickly, super speed, no waffling, look at Weasel's Game Week 4 team before we move on to Game Week 5 fixtures. Right, so our transfers and predictions Game Week 5 following very shortly after Weasel's team review. And what did you do?
I'm really happy with my free hit. If I had not free hit, I would have only got 40 points this week. I worked out, so that's why I was saying it was a very good week FPL wise. So my keeper was Pope, who got 8 points. Got Cucurella, got a single point, unfortunately, and only came on the second half sub. Munez was a big disappointment, but he still got 5 points for the clean sheet. Lequoir got 6 points, and he lost 2 bonus points, unfortunately. My midfield for Enzo, who got 4 points. Semenyo is the star, who got 13 points. Captain Salah, who got 18 points, and another late goal. And Gakpo was very disappointing, and only got 3 points. And my front three were Ekatike with 2 points, Pedro, who's 7 points, and Mateta was another disappointment with only 2 points. And I don't really want to mention my bench. It's a bit painful.
What was that about your bench?
I don't really want to. Yeah, do I have to talk about it?
It's part of your free hit and your selection process, so yes.
Right, so I got Chewbacca, who got 3 points, King, who got a single point, Anderson got 10 points, and Van der Ven, unfortunately, got 14 points. But I can't grumble. 69 points instead of 40 points, 29 extra points is a big green arrow for me.
Decent, yeah. I'm a bit miffed that what's completely bonkers, and anyone that has actually paid remote slight attention to our reviews is that the last few weeks, despite what we've done, we've been on the same points. And you free hit, I take a 4-point hit, and we both finish on 69 points.
How did you get 69? I didn't realise.
Yeah, I got 73, but then I'd taken a -4 hit to bring to remove both Sarr and Strand Larsen and brought in Semenyo and João Pedro. And João Pedro outscored Chris Wood by 6 points, so a 2-point net on that selection because my free transfer was the Sarr to Semenyo, but I would have finished 67 points, so I'm 2 points better off, but it's put me below you by about 50,000 places. My guess is because it's number of transfers. That's my theory. That's the reason.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. That's why it does that. I'm always ahead, unless it's alphabetical.
Well, it definitely won't be down to ID rank this soon because mine's higher than yours.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's have a look at how that impacted your game week stats wise and points. So 69 points, is that right?
Uh-huh. So
What?
my status score was 60 points. So I got a 9 point green arrow. My bench had 28 points, unfortunately. So my old rank was just over 7 million, and my new rank's 5.9 million. So, and the game week rank was 3.9 million.
Yeah,
So,
heading in the right direction, both of us,
yeah.
and hopefully that will continue um, in game week 5, and we'll go through our specific personalized plans for that in our second video, the team selections video. This one, though, we're going to have a quick look and natter at the game week 5 fixtures and suggested transfers out and in. Looking first at the fixtures, though, Merseyside derby. Who's your money on there? Virtual money, not real money, of course.
Liverpool late winner, I reckon, again.
Salah penalty by any chance?
More than likely.
Yeah. Did
But,
you missed a very interesting conversation between Andy and I on the Liverpool attack. Um, and it was a shame Lewis wasn't, but there. So, mm, how do you think quite close Liverpool edging it?
um, yeah, 2-1, something like that.
I reckon I'm going to lay it on the line. I am pretty sure that Van Dijk and Tarkowski will both get DEFCON this week.
Tarkowski's got it every week so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, but he hasn't actually got the most individual um, DEFCON returns because I think there are some players that some weeks have bypassed the threshold significantly. Um, whereas he not? I think 2 of the 3 weeks he got 11 DEFCONs to get the two bonus. In one game he got 15, whereas like I remember Van Dijk in one game, I'm not sure if it was a Newcastle one, he got like 19 or 20 in that game in itself. Senesi those got the most, I believe. So
Uh,
yeah, that's where I'd put it. But it's a lunchtime kickoff. I'm uncertain about what my intentions for that will be. I'll be thinking about that, and hopefully I'll reach a decision in the next hour or so. Um, Disregarding that, so we've also got that's the Merseyside derby being Saturday's lunchtime kickoff, with the deadline at 11 o'clock. You then got Brighton against Tottenham at 3 o'clock. Burnley. How do you think that one to go? Any interest?
Obviously got Porro. So you just never know which Spurs or which Brighton will turn up. They're so unpredictable, but obviously Spurs have looked very good at the back this year, with 3 clean sheets already. So
I
maybe
think
1-0, 2-0 Spurs. But obviously, it could be rotations in the Spurs squad as well.
mm, yeah, that will be interesting to know and to keep an eye on the what their lineup was last night. It looked relatively consistent with their league selections, I think.
Yeah, the back four and keeper were the same, weren't they?
Yeah. Burnley, Nottingham Forest, 3 o'clock
Obviously,
Saturday.
yeah, I've got triple Forest. So it's what I set my squad up ready for us for these two fixtures coming up with Forest.
Mm,
But Burnley have impressed me. They're very organised at the back. They're not letting in many goals like last season.
mm.
So and Forest obviously haven't been brilliant this season.
Well, I didn't notice the final score in the Carabao Cup, but I did notice that at half time Forest were leading 2-0. I was
Uh,
like, Jesus. Sorry,
do you know the
Jesus.
final score?
No, but me saying Jesus, I wasn't cursing. That's the name of the goal scorer. He got the first 2 goals.
Yeah, so the word of my own. But yeah, Swansea won it 3-2 in the end.
Barry must be loving it.
Uh,
Barry's probably like he was working in Bristol, I think he said today. He'll be like celebrating up the Swans.
yeah, I wonder if he went to the game. Obviously, it's not far.
Kind of down just relatively quite away across sideways wise, but yeah, I've got like yourself, I've got triple Forest. Um, but may have to keep an eye on the bench. Murillo might have to go on the bench, but I think he's marked down as injured anyway at the moment, isn't he?
Yep.
Um, so
But yeah,
that's a
1-0 win to either the teams, I reckon, there.
mm. West Ham Palace. That's got to be Palace, surely.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can't see West Ham scoring, even though I've got Bowen. But yeah, Crystal Palace very organised, not seeing many goals. Obviously, again, they might rotate. They rotated a couple midweek in the cup.
Mm. Which because
You've got
of
Europe next week.
in the cup in the lineup, Richards was benched, I believe. Which I am looking on the flip side as the fact that the positive he did come off the bench, he did score the Crystal Palace goal, and well, he also scored in the penalty shootout. So I think it's probably safe to say that his minutes are just being managed, and he'll be fine to start the league game. I'd expect him to be in the lineup against West Ham.
Yeah, I don't think he's injured. He was just rested.
Mm. I did read somewhere surrounding it, or Sky commented on it, that Richards is more prone to injuries than the other Palace defenders. So he's his minutes will be managed more carefully. So it's not necessary. So he wasn't dropped. It was just being um, cautious. Maybe not necessarily cautious, but anyway, I'm going off the point. Wolves Leeds. That's surely got to be a low scoring affair, or Leeds nick it.
Yeah, Leeds have been very impressive this year. And that's surprising us all. And
Quite
Wolves have been
quite
atrocious. They haven't got Strand Larson back, have they?
Yeah, Leeds have been quite solid defensively, apart from the Arsenal game. Wolves haven't been good at scoring, so um, you'd expect Leeds to hold a clean sheet there, and it's a matter of whether Leeds attack can score against Wolves. Um,
Yeah, it'll be either 0-0 or tight 1-0 win.
yeah, in all likelihood. Manchester United, Chelsea.
You'd like to think it's a nice, easy Chelsea win, but obviously they didn't do great tonight in Europe.
Mm,
And I don't know how much rotation I have. Man United are creating chances, they're just not scoring. And Burmo's got like a non-penalty expected chances of 3 at the moment, second highest behind Haaland. And Cunha was looking good before he got injured as well.
mm. Fulham,
But
Brent, Fulham, Brentford, 8 o'clock kickoff Saturday.
another 8 o'clock kickoff again.
Mm.
That's a new thing this season.
Well, it's with the Sky contract for I think with the Sky contract for this season, they announced the number of games was drastically increasing that they're broadcasting. So I think if there's not midweek fixtures for like cup competitions, whether like Europe or whatever, there'll be a Friday night game. There'll be 12:30 lunchtime kickoff, which I think generally that's TNT Sports. A handful of 3 o'clocks. Then you've got your 5:30, which is shown on Sky, and your 8 o'clock, which is shown on Sky. Um, and then you've got the Sunday fixtures, both 2 o'clocks are on show, and the 4:30. Um, Fulham
There's been
Brentford,
a
it'll
lot of
be
Sunday fixtures
mm,
with Europe now, isn't there?
yeah. Um, Newcastle will have a tough one because we'll be off the back of the Barcelona game, Barcelona match to that, but then at least that's at home, and we're going away to Bournemouth. Um, it's a turnover from Thursday to Sunday.
If you can keep
Sunderland,
Semenyo quiet, no, you do all right, I think.
yeah, I think it'll be a low scoring affair, to be honest. Um, we've been fairly solid defensively. It will be because we're recording this Wednesday night, so we'll see how we get through Barcelona if there's any injuries or um, things that factor in. But because Gordon is not suspended for Europe, he'll be playing, which means I suspect it'll be Alanga and Gordon starting the Barcelona game, which is why they were benched, which is why I think Alanga was benched against Wolves. Well, he'd come back from international duty as well, so it was we'll give Murphy the minutes. Plus, he did well at Leeds. Save Alanga for for all the bees, Barcelona, and then it will probably be Murphy starting again against Bournemouth at the weekend.
He had a
That's my
great game
theory.
last week, didn't he?
Um, then yeah, Sunderland Villa 2 o'clock and Arsenal City, which that leads us nicely into transfers, really, because fixtures going in and there's a scramble for Haaland after his performances recently. But yes, I want Haaland in, but against Arsenal, who out of fixtures in all competitions so far this season, they've conceded one goal, and it was the direct free kick from Szoboszlai. They've kept a clean sheet in every other fixture.
Yeah, I don't understand the rush to get to him this week.
So it can wait. It can wait a week, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I am concerned. If my words get jumbled, I apologise, everybody. They've been like this everywhere this week. I keep either mixing words together or reordering them somehow. I'm not sure whether I'm trying to talk too quickly or what. I don't know. And now I'm waffling. Let's move on from that fixture list, I think. So, um, the FPL Affairs Hippo has managed to rush in and did actually message me his predictions for this week's 5-star challenge. Can you beat Hippo's Crystal Balls? Where basically 5 stars, first star, game week's best overall player, second star, the best differential, so under 5%, top performer for the week, the most saves for the third star, the fourth one, the game week's highest scoring defender, and the fifth, a double-digit midfielder or forward. Now, we have got regulations that you can't, notably 1 and 4 or 1 and 5. You can't have the same player for both recommendations. But he did send his through, which I got just before we started recording. What he's got down, and see what you'll think if you haven't seen it. Best game week player, he believes it will be Chris Wood, as he likes a goal against Burnley. Well, his former club, one of. He's then got the best under 5%, best differential for the week to be Ndoye, also a Forest. All assist Woods' goals. Most saves, he's gone for Pickford because Liverpool will be severely up for it for the Merseyside derby. Highest scoring defender, he's gone with Virgil van Dijk. I suspect that will have something to do with the DEFCONs.
He scored
To be
tonight though
honest.
as well, didn't he? So
Mm. And double digit, he's gone with João Pedro against a leaky United defence. So, yeah, going through that again. Star number 1, best overall player, he's gone with Chris Wood. Best differential, Ndoye of Nottingham Forest. Third, the most saves, Jordan Pickford. 4, highest scoring defender, Virgil van Dijk. And fifth, double digit midfielder or forward, he's gone with João Pedro to double digit against Manchester United. What are your thoughts on those predictions?
yeah, they're all good predictions. Very safe. Now, hopefully the teams Forest have turned things around a bit and be the Forest of last season. So we both got heavy interest in it this week.
Yeah, if I decide to, well, Murillo might not be. I'll definitely be looking at the other fixtures when we go through our teams. But yeah, so those are Kieran's predictions. And this week he challenges the FPL Affairs Peacock Andrew that appeared on the 2 videos released yesterday, which was my mind's gone blank, Game Week 4 Unwrapped and Game Week 4 Talking Points. So, and I will admit, Andrew has been itching to get his turn to represent the admin in this challenge against Kieran. So he'll be loving it and really eager and keen to win. As it stands, from the 4 game weeks so far, Kieran is scraping to keep in touch. He beat league leader Mick last week to pull it even Steven. So between Kieran and the admin, it's 2-2 at the moment, which means if it goes with admin win, Kieran equalizes, admin win, Kieran equalizes. So I think money's on Andrew this week. I keep saying anything in relation. It's like I'm encouraging betting. I apologize. I'm not.
Mhm.
My pattern schedule would imply that the Peacock is to win. Anyway, moving on to potential transfers. Going through those positions, who would you kick out if you were a goalkeeper? If you were desperate to get rid of your goalkeeper for one reason or another?
Sales, obviously he's got 2 good fixtures, but Obviously, you said earlier in the week that Sanchez might be benched in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's definitely worth noting, isn't it? Sorry, I'm looking down. I put some notes on my phone earlier on certain players for this. So if I keep looking down, I'm not falling asleep.
But yes, that's got me a bit worried if he doesn't start
Mm. I think if
because
you've
I
got
had
to Bra I think if you've got Dubravka, I think it's not Sanchez isn't necessarily a rush out. Because my
yeah,
initial
he's doing
thought
all
was,
right.
um, if Sanchez plays, he plays. If he doesn't, then you've got Dubravka coming off the bench. Whereas I think if you were wildcarding and looking at the fixtures, I think game week 5 is not a good week to wildcard. Peacock. Um, sorry, did I say that out loud?
I have to
Um,
admit, I was tempted to wild cards, but as you say, there's some good fixtures this week, and you just have to trust your original selections.
yeah, I think transfers out really. If you did do the differential pick of Trafford at the beginning of the season, with Donnarumma coming in and playing and doing well against Man United, you'd say if you've got Trafford, then get rid because he's 5 million, I believe. Um, and obviously Edison because he's left.
I
What
think
would you
Trafford
say?
will start this week.
Do you think?
Yeah,
Do you suspect it'll be a rotation between him and Donnarumma then?
I think so, but he's going to try and keep them both happy.
Mm,
He's very lucky to have that dilemma. He's got two great keepers to
yes,
choose from.
yes. Um, what about defenders then? Any you think to sell or avoid, as it were?
Um, De Kuiper, I've got in my team who I'm thinking about selling this week. It's been very disappointing. Now he had all his hype pre-season that he gets lots of assists. He might be on penalties, and he's been getting 1 point literally every week. Or
Dorgu,
even,
Manchester United, because he's been benched,
yep,
hasn't
uh yeah, he played the last fixture. He was benched in week 3. I've got Dorgu as well, but they've got a couple of good fixtures coming up. In week 6 they've got Brentford, and week 7 they've got Sunderland. So I've decided to keep him for now, as I might be wildcarding in week 7.
he? And then there's really, I'd suspect the West Ham fullbacks, to be honest, because Wan-Bissaka was a recommended one at the beginning of the season that people were getting, as well as Diouf, weren't
He
they?
had one big return, didn't he, in one of the weeks when
Mm.
they won against Forest.
Yeah, that's why I think he's probably a maybe not necessarily a sell just yet, but sort of be mindful or be wary. Possibly one of your rotational defenders if you've got a rotating defensive spot.
But
Would you
yeah,
think?
any yeah, definitely.
Midfielders. Any midfielders you're thinking of getting rid of?
See, Furtz is on his very last chance in my team
Mm.
this week.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. You look at the fixtures and you're like, is it worthwhile? Or that one more week? This is an all right fixture. Like you don't get rid of Salah or Verts. They got the Merseyside derby. Let's give them the Merseyside derby because of the fixtures. Um, but then also you need to take into account with players you're going to transfer out. Are the players you're bringing in, are they ones you really want? Or would you just be getting them in because you want to get rid of some? Like we discussed the Villa assets the other night. Um, and again, although they came off the bench in the cup match, Rodgers and Watkins didn't do anything other than other than Watkins scoring in the shootout.
I think you have to keep faith in them. No, I'm going to keep Watkins. But yeah, Sunderland, Fulham, and Burnley can help wish for better fixtures, really.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's simply a matter of priorities. I think a lot of it is how they've got some nice fixtures coming up. They're the type of players, um, Villa that they could suddenly just switch into gear, kick into gear. They've done too well over the last few years under Emery to suddenly be poor players or poor choices. But we both mentioned Watkins. We both have Watkins. And I think judging by that, and you will have noticed I put him on the thumbnail for the video. Um, I'd say when it comes to Watkins, we'll go through what we're doing in the next video, but I will highly likely be keeping him because of how I want to get Haaland in. Um, I think you need to look at everyone needs to look at whichever play. If you've got players in particular you want to get in, thinking about the timing that you do bring them in, and when you get them out. So do take into account, yes, Watkins and Rogers are not returning at the moment. But yes, they've got nice fixtures. And have you got other priorities to burn? Some people have got defenders with terrible fixtures this week. Some have got injuries or suspension. So I think they're more luxury transfers out at the moment in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Now I've got more problems to sort out before dealing with them.
Mm,
But yeah, if you use wild cards in, obviously a lot of people will get Watkins out for Gokeres, sorry, or obviously go up to Haaland if they can.
yeah, which kind of will bring that onto the transfers in for suggestions. I would say goalkeeper would have to be, for me, Raya and Petrovic of Bournemouth. Bournemouth have looked solid. Arsenal are ridiculously solid in defence, and Arsenal's defenders aren't going to get DEFCON, so Raya's more of an appeal. And I think especially if Maresca has openly said that there's going to be rotation in goal, um, then that kind of throws it towards me of if or well when I wildcard, whenever that is, it's likely I'll take out Sanchez now and put in Raya would be my take on that, or depending on what my budget situation is and priorities, it would then be Petrovic of Bournemouth instead.
Yeah, my plan would be Raya as well in the wild cards. I normally do have Raya as my Arsenal defender, but last season he wasn't really getting many clean sheets and save points, as he's got some save points this season.
Mm,
But yeah, I've been impressed. They've had their harder fixtures, Arsenal, and they've kept two clean sheets really, haven't they?
hardest,
So they've got
yeah.
great fixtures coming up. So you need to have an Arsenal keeper or defender, definitely.
Will you consider doubling up when you wildcard on Arsenal
Yeah.
defence?
I tend to not double up, but it is a very good tactic and it's something I have to consider. And that they have the best thing numbers, don't they, for expected goals against them. That they
Mm,
can see the
one
least.
one of the best. Yeah, I think it'll. I think it depends if because I remember I don't think it was last season. It was the season, but season before. Um, and at points last season, I think, where if you had an Arsenal defender or Raya and they kept a clean sheet, it was actually detrimental to your rank because so many people had double defense. Only having one of them didn't didn't make it up.
Yeah, that was last season. I fell into that boat.
So yeah, that
Everyone
would be.
doubled up last year on them.
They've got an Arsenal's fixtures really sort of start to turn in game week 7 because they've got Man City at the weekend, then they've got Newcastle away in game week 6. So Arsenal transfers will probably be more veering if you can hold off to game week 7.
I noticed a lot of the
Right.
top teams have got Arsenal defender already, and that they've just trusted that they're a good defending team
Mm,
and just disregarded the fixtures and gone for them being a top team,
mm,
and they've been rewarded big time.
yeah, they have. They have been rewarded big
Especially the ones
time.
that doubled up.
Mm. So we mentioned Raya and Petrovic as ones to um,
Spurs
buy.
as well.
What other defenders do you think? Well, we mentioned him earlier. In relation to defensive contributions, Senesi's got the most defense of Bournemouth, has got defcons in every single fixture, and he's got um, the most in total. That actually reminded me of another image I've got um, that I saw posted that I shared in the video the other night about which individuals to ideally target. So the following individuals have got the most DEFCON awards. So Tarkovsky and Senesi have both got DEFCON in all four matches. Anderson of Fulham, Vandenberg of Brentford, and Ekdal of Burnley, they've all reached the threshold in 3 fixtures out of the 4. So depending on your budget, they could be worthwhile options, especially if the talking weren't really about whether filling your back line with defenders that are strong for defensive contributions and to actually taking a lot more notice of that.
Yeah, Defcons is definitely the way forwards because obviously you can see 2 goals and still get 3 points. And that obviously then you can see the one that's they can get 4 points, and then if they then get the clean sheet and get the Defcon points, they like to get bonus points and get double figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I'm going to do a defenders move this week, and yeah, obviously historically you'd go for attacking fullback, but they're not even on my thinking for transfers in. It would definitely be a Defcon. So
Yeah, it's also I think value for money to a degree because the attacking fullbacks that don't necessarily get much defensive contributions, they um you're always like, oh, they're going to get an attacking return this week, and if they don't, then you're just like clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. But whereas the defensive contributions, you can just sort of float along and just
uh,
keep hold of them. And if you get ones that rotate, defenders that rotate together, you can hold a chunk of defenders for several weeks. Mine, I've got had a good rotation after doing a good plan using a particular website, FPL Planner or rotate FPL Rotation Planner, I think it is the website. But yeah, definitely, I
yeah,
think
your defensive
defense.
rotations have been absolutely amazing this week, season.
Mm,
Obviously, you didn't have a lot of us free hit last week, and you didn't have to because you'd planned for it already and had the defenders ready for the fixtures last week.
yeah. Any more defenders that we haven't mentioned that could be potential ins?
And the Crystal Palace defenders obviously been brilliant to start the season. Looking very tight. They've been playing together for a long time together now. They've got the 5 at the back system, but absolutely sorted, unlike Man United. And that Lacroix's my favourite out of all of them. And that obviously last year would have been Munez. But they've obviously got a great fixture this week.
I think Mark Gahey's the more popular of the sub 5 million amount, hence why he's had increases of price from 4.5 to 4.7, which actually for me would be a bit more argument for going for Richards over him, to be fair, because excuse me, Defcon's not a huge amount of difference between the two of them.
Has he got Defcon this season?
Richards has, he did in the last game. I don't think Gahey has.
But he's got
Um,
goals and assist.
he got that screamer goal against Aston Villa, didn't he? That looked to be a delightful send off um, to Liverpool, didn't he?
Uh, um,
Um,
their fixtures turn though from next week. So
what?
Palace's do. So
Well,
they've got West Ham this week.
they've got they've got Liverpool in game week 6, but then the fixtures after that aren't too terrible.
They got
They've got
Everton away, it's week 7.
mm, and then Bournemouth at home,
Uh-huh.
which is going to be difficult. But neither Everton or Bournemouth are free scoring. Everton are scoring more than they used to, but that wasn't really very hard because they didn't tend to score much anyway. And the actually thinking about it, the only other defender really, which I don't think we've mentioned, or maybe we have, would be Van Dijk, fresh from getting his last minute winner in the Champions League tonight.
Yeah, you've got several routes to go with him.
Mm,
He pops up with the odd goal. He's the only Liverpool defender that gets DEFCONs. He's a 90-minute man for them. That
exactly.
is the safest one. Obviously, their fullbacks seem to be coming off at 60 minutes or before.
Mm. Um, I think we'll wrap up the defenders, keeping an eye on the time. Midfielders. Who would you say midfielders to buy? I
Obviously, the
don't.
most obvious one's Semenyo.
Yeah, he doesn't need any more discussions. I've got him already. Have
Uh,
you? You had him in your free
I
hit.
want to get him in week 6. I've got more important things to sort out this week. But yeah, he's a must-have for week 6 away to Leeds. But in Burma, I think it's worth a punt. No, he's had a few good chances. Obviously, he was unlucky. It was a screamer of a save at the weekend against Man City. 9 out of 10 times that would have gone in.
Mm,
Now his underlying numbers are brilliant.
yeah,
Now
I think he,
he's only behind Haaland in expected goal involvements.
he's just I think
And,
a bit of an underachiever. The amount of returns he's got doesn't match up with the data at the moment, which in some ways is, and we know how clinical and Burmo can be, how efficient he is from his time at Brentford. So it's not that
he was
he's
the
like a
opposite last
bad,
season.
yeah, it's not that he's a bad finisher. Um,
Yeah, he overachieved last year, and then he's underachieving this year.
mm, needs a middle. It's the shirt. It's the shirt he's wearing. That's the difference. Sorry, Man U fans.
Um, yeah, I think the DEFCON midfielders are worth a look at as well.
Mm,
And that because they're even propping up and getting goals and assists as well.
yeah.
So Anderson's got fantastic fixtures. Castaio, they scored last week.
Oh, yeah. And
So I
he's got Defcon in um either three of the four or all four fixtures. That
think it's throughout the ball.
he's played. Yeah, he was in my very first draft actually, um, in the summer, but then
Yeah,
one
same
reason or
here.
another took him out because of the zero attacking threat. And yet 4 games in, he scored twice. Creep.
Uh, yeah, it's always the way.
Mm.
And Simmons of Spurs is my other midfielder.
Yeah, he's on my watch list. He
Yeah, he's
got
on set pieces.
yeah, that was proven in the recent fixtures that and getting an assist, didn't he? So
Anyone
yeah,
you're looking at?
well, Semenyo I've already got, and the other midfielders really, you said and Burmo, but then they're playing Chelsea, and although they lost tonight, second game running, Cole Palmer scored,
Huh,
so
I have him already.
you still got Palmer,
Yeah, I kept him. So I had other things to sort out. So it's quite nice for my team. It's like a free transfer for me this week.
silver lining.
Uh-huh. It'd be a good differential because obviously a lot of people got rid of him.
Yeah, I did it with a rejig of funds, I think maybe.
Yeah, that's what most people got rid of him for. Obviously, there's a lot of money.
Mm,
It was the easy transfer, a lot of people. But yeah, I wonder if people might go and transfer him in now.
we
We
shall
seem to
see.
have the first half of last season Palmer back.
Mm,
But yeah, a lot of midfielders are rotation risks now with Europe in full swing and the Carabao Cup.
yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely has their
so there's
moments.
yeah, so there's proven players who are good FPL assets like Eze, but his minutes are not secure. You got your Chelsea wingers,
Yeah, you
all 10 of them, or how many they've got.
it's the teams playing in Europe. It's really is going to sort of hesitate on and just see how they line up in Europe and then how they line up in game week 5. So in that respect, it's sort of if you can, unless you've got bad fires to burn out, roll. Or if you are going to players, bring in players that are guaranteed those minutes which the Champions League players for the big teams, they've got more depth, which means they're more likely to rotate in the league, which means minutes are unsecure. So that's again adds to the Semenyo appeal.
And in Burma as well.
Mm, yeah. Final thoughts forwards.
But obviously, everyone's hopping on Haaland and Gyökeres after their great starts to the season.
João Pedro
But
still, if you're one of the few people that don't have him.
uh,
Um, but then again, like what we were saying is for forwards, yes, the options that people want, João Pedro and Haaland and Gyökeres, but then this week Gyökeres and Haaland are facing up against each other. Haaland's against one of the best two defenses in the league. So his at least attacking returns are heavily restricted. Um,
what's his record like against Arsenal? I've not looked into it.
I'm not sure either, but I'd still put, possibly one return at the most.
Uh,
I
but
don't
yeah, I
think.
think those three are going to be a template free forwards, aren't they, for a lot of teams?
Mm,
But yeah, I'm hoping that I've stuck faith with Watkins and Woods. They've got some great fixtures next couple of games, and hopefully they'll start returning.
mm. I think
So they might be worth a punt for a free hit.
mm, just
Anyone
to
who's
keep
free
an
hit
eye
this
out,
week.
still keep an eye out on Mateta because of how Palace are playing. Evan Nilsson with Bournemouth's fixtures um, coming up and looking okay.
Uh, he's the cheapest as well.
And I'm going to throw it out there, and I mentioned it on mid talking points on Monday. Walter Marder of Newcastle with Wissa out for injured for 4 or 5 weeks. Um, that, and this is where my voice is getting croaky, so sorry if you keep getting a green bottle whipped in your face or the camera and then splat it plop over my face as well. Yeah, Walter Marder will be interested and promising. I think some creators will be avoid, avoid, avoid now, see how he goes in. But then I think it might be he might be worthwhile as a sort of short time punt-ish, possibly. But then Bournemouth away is not the greatest of fixtures, and then we've got Arsenal at home in game week 6. So, and by that point, Wissa may be back. So, depends how puntish or whatever you want to go. And I think the European fixture tonight, where Isak played 58 minutes before Ekatike came on, I think that potentially certainly puts a dampener on Ekatike's minutes. And if Isak can last 58 on a Wednesday, could he manage more than 45 against Everton? I don't think he'd play longer than 60 minutes against Everton by having two games so close. The fact he played, I would have thought I was expecting it to be benched tonight and then possibly start at the weekend, depending how he did in Europe.
I think everyone was. But yeah, I think it'd be annoying and whoever plays now get less than 60 minutes.
Mm.
So you got to hope they score. It's a disappointing 1 point.
I
But
wouldn't
I'm
be,
personally staying clear of both.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Ekatike starts and then Isak comes off the bench at some point. That's my thoughts anyway, but I'm not a Liverpool fan, so we'd have to ask Dave, Mick, and what their specialist knowledge and inside
I
information
don't
about
think anyone
Liverpool.
knows.
Mm,
But obviously Gakpo could be rested and one of them could go out on the left.
yeah. So, but I'd say to keep away from those. But ins, no, for me.
Uh,
Mm. So, how you can get in touch? Hopefully, that has been useful. The transfers out and who to consider bringing in primarily. We didn't mention Everton much, but we've been talking a lot about transfers. We need to get onto our own team selection time before we stop. So, how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs@gmail.com. On X, our user handle is at FPL Affairs. Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel. And alternatively, you could search the Facebook group for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is /at FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video, or on Spotify you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The Classic League code is 12RRCG, or the Classic code is lowercase I 6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. Okay, final thoughts on the transfers or chips or anything like that, other than something more general, other than what we plan to do specifically.
Yeah, try and roll your transfers this week or make bare minimum because the fixtures turn in game week 6.
And just generally adding to that, how some of the teams we will want to actually target for players are playing against each other. Like Arsenal and Man City have got some good fixtures coming up, but they face off each other in game week 5. So if you can just either delay your transfers by a week to game week 6, then that'll give a lot more freedom and flexibility and no need to take a hit if need be. And I also think there's better opportunity for chip playing, but that's something we'll cover when we speak about game week 6. So thank you for sharing your team and Kieran's predictions and transfer possibilities, and we'll see you again shortly in our next video where we share our team selections for game week 5. So all that's left to say is please like and subscribe this video and keep your FPL affairs under wraps until Saturday morning's deadline. Goodbye.